In the first couple of years, classes are your primary way to make an impression. But this can involve a lot of tedious work and original thought. So save yourself a lot of effort by following a few simple tips. First, find out in advance your professor's pet theories, their likes, and their dislikes. There are things your professor can't wait to say. Help them say it, and you'll do no wrong for the rest of the semester.
Dr. Hyde, I've read so many studies on gender and self-esteem, and I wish that there was some way to summarize them and find out if a difference really exists. Dr. Glenberg, I'm having trouble with the concept of working memory. It just doesn't seem to make any sense.
Once you're in good with your professor, there are various ways you can reduce your workload. Often there's a lot of required readings assigned for classes. Think of them as optional. Reading the abstract of the first article on the list should give you enough material to ask questions that will make you look intelligent. And remember, if you look intelligent, you are intelligent.
So class, what did you think of this week's readings?
I mean, all of them were really interesting, but it was the Eisenberg that really caught my attention. Where do I start? Really, I mean, you don't have to go any further than the abstract. I mean, the question that they're asking is just not that relevant. I mean, how they would come to that conclusion from the experiment that they did here. So, and also their conclusions based on their data, I just didn't agree with. I don't see. Well, I don't want to hog the whole conversation. Somebody else should talk. Sorry.
In some classes you're not going to have to worry about being called on, but you still need good notes. But there are much better ways to spend your time in class than taking notes. Just make sure you have the right friends.
Now this was a really pivotal study, really shook up the literature. But I don't want you to get too caught up in the methods, because it's important to remember what the study demonstrates, and that's that emotion isn't separable from cognition. Now the reason
that is not or isn't?
Robin, I don't know, whatever. Is not.
Is not, okay.
That's enough for class today. I'll see you guys next week.
So Robin,
Yeah.
we're still on for study group tonight?
Absolutely, Tim. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, buddy.
Often there are students outside of psychology who take our classes. With a little helpful guidance, they can make you look very intelligent. Just remember, the dumber they look, the smarter you look.
Oh, hey, excuse me, it's Leah, right?
Yeah.
I'm really excited about all this psychology stuff, but I was wondering if I could ask you a couple of questions?
Sure.
Great, thanks. Well, I heard about this attachment study where they had a wire monkey and they wrapped him in terry cloth. Whose study was that?
Oh, yeah, that was Dr. Phil. That's the study that got him on Oprah. Yeah, you should be sure to drop his name a lot in class.
Okay, great, thanks. I'm really interested in mothering style, that's why I wanted to know.
Oh.
And its effects on the infant.
Well, you should know that in this department, Freud has the first and last word on mothering, yeah, so don't even try and bring up other theories.
Okay, great. Wow, thanks for the tips.
No problem.
There was a few terms in the reading that I didn't quite understand.
Okay.
Can I ask you about that?
Sure.
Okay, first of all, what exactly is correlation?
Oh, that's easy. It's the same as causation.
Oh, okay. One more thing. What's temperament?
Oh, you mean you don't know about the 4 humors? Oh boy, we have a lot to work on.
One last tip on classes. The students who are really successful, don't worry too much about writing papers. Just prepare a really good title page and the rest can be improvised. Actually, we have footage to suggest that many professors don't even take these papers that seriously. To succeed in graduate school, some people say, just be yourself. Ha! Idiots! With a little creativity, you can make your professors think you're working harder and longer hours than you really do.
Dear Joe, I just finished analyzing some data. I know you said it would take a while, but I thought it was worth the extra effort. Can we meet ASAP to discuss? Thanks, Samantha. Right, saved drafts, log out, close, time to go home. Okay, drafts. Dear Joe, okay, send. Oh good, 5 more hours.
With a little good detective work, you can find out your professor's hobbies and make them your own.
Hi, Dr. Professor Curtin.
Hi, Jessica. Is that a cotton top you're wearing?
Yeah, why?
Cotton doesn't wick very well. Nice shoes.
Oh, thanks.
Did you bring a gel?
No, I didn't.
Here, you might need that.
Oh, thanks.
Before we get started, let me just set my GPS system and
Okay.
heart rate monitor. It's going to take a second. Okay. Good, excellent.
Thanks for letting me go running with you. I was wondering if maybe we could talk a little bit about alcohol if you're potentially getting started.
Oh, that would be excellent. I'm actually doing this really interesting study right now. Just started. Wow. See why I'm so excited about these methods. I mean, no one has actually
Wait,
tested.
Professor Curtin, how far are we running today?
Oh, don't worry, it's just gonna be a short run, no problem. So as I was saying, no one has actually tested the opposite prediction that alcohol. No one's actually even ever considered how this data fits in the context of this whole other theoretical perspective offered by the developing affective neuroscience literature.
Your professors may say they want you to bring your individual personality to the lab. Hey, is that a cow jumping over the moon? The trick is to memorize your professor's dress, mannerisms, and speech, and make them your own. I found unpacking this week's readings a real proglomenon. I've done some intense cogitation, and I've concluded that the brain is putatively friggin' huge. But maybe that's just a Copernican ellipse. On the contrary, Tim, I think you're finally starting to mature as a scientist. Now, when it comes to the first year project, it's critical to choose a good research topic. And by good, I don't mean a useful contribution to the literature. I mean sexy. Something that'll get your audience thinking, but not too hard. You don't want them to hurt themselves. Something that will guarantee you funding.
Gosh, Rich, I really need a topic for my first year project. I just don't know what to title it.
Well, what are people writing about these days?
I don't know.
I think I do.
Is gender issues in embodied nanocognition of paradigm shifts, an fMRI study.
Making it through the presentation is easy. People only read your slides anyway. But you have to watch out for the nasty Q&A section afterwards. The best thing you can do to prepare for the hard questions is to have an answer ready. Remember, there are answers you can apply to almost any question. Memorize these and you'll be a natural on presentation day.
And lastly, I'd like to thank Erin Yeh. Now I'd be happy to answer any questions anyone may have.
Were there equal representation of males and females in this study?
Well, clearly more research is needed. Anyone else?
Yes, I'm wondering if you could comment on the likely role of the hippocampus in this process.
I am so glad you asked that question. Next question?
Uh-huh. Did you use a random effects model or a fixed effects model?
Exactly.
Don't forget though that the best defense is a good offense. You can get ahead in the Q&A by planting some of your friends in the audience ready to toss you a lob. Then you just happen to call on them and no one will be the wiser.
Yes, you over on the left. Yeah, how come you're so smart? That's a good question.
If all else fails.
Yes, you in the back?
And Shulagum, I wonder if you have considered the ramifications of the neophatic interactions between the mother and the paternal grandfather and things of this nature.
Code 9, code 9.
What? What is happening here? I don't think you understand who I am. I am Sigmund Freud. I do not understand.
Enough for today. We'll take it up again tomorrow.
This is the director's commentary.
Lisa, come in. They'll think we're gonna rob the place.
We actually had originally had a Richie Davidson automaton created for us down at the labs in California. But unfortunately, it was destroyed during filming, quite beyond repair by a rather large grease fire. It's a bit of a shame.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
On the contrary, Tim, I think you're finally starting to mature as a scientist.
Okay. We actually had to stop filming for about 4 hours to wait for her to stop giggling.
Now, this was a really pivotal study. It really shook up the literature. But I don't want you to get too caught up in the methods, because they're really complex, and it's important to remember what the study demonstrates. And that's that emotion isn't separable from cognition.
Is that is or is not? Oh, I screwed up, sorry.
You gotta do a 3-4.
We've got about